Hi, I'm Mr. Mullaney. This is our recap of our lesson, The Atlantic World is Born. This is the Columbus lesson. Let's talk about Christopher Columbus. So I put two pictures here. This is Columbus Avenue in the North Beach neighborhood of San Francisco. This is Columbus Avenue on the Upper West Side of New York City. I put those there, one, because I lived off of both of those at one point in my life, and two, because it shows just how ingrained Christopher Columbus is in our culture here in America today. So he was looking for a westward sea route to the Indies. Really what the Europeans wanted was China, India, and this area here. There had been stories of riches, especially Marco Polo, who spent 17 years in China, came back to Europe and told of the riches and glory that could be obtained there. So that's what he's looking for. His idea was, let's go west. The Portuguese had gone south around Africa. The Italians and Muslims controlled the the trade routes on land, and so if you're Spain, the thought is maybe if we go west, we'll get to China and India that way. Of course, when you go west from Europe, you run right into North or South America. Reasons: it's all about God, glory, and God, gold, and glory. Excuse me. They wanted a trade route. Spain wanted an advantage over Portugal in its rivalry. The idea was to convert and conquer non-Catholic lands and people as well. We talk about Columbus. He lands on an island that is called Guanahani by its natives. It's somewhere in the Bahamas. They were met by a Native American tribe, the Tainos. This is a map of the Bahamas right here. This is southern Florida right there. So close, but not quite to the mainland. He takes the two ships. He takes three ships, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Maria runs aground. He does do some return trips. He and his brothers become governors. They enslave the people. And the big thing you want to get here is the Columbian Exchange. You have to know that. That's the transatlantic trade, but it also refers to slaves. It refers to diseases, ideas, all of that going between Europe and North America and South America, the New World. That we refer to that as the Columbian Exchange. We watched a video about Columbus, how Columbus was a pretty poor governor. He insisted that he had found India or the Indies. He called the people Indians. He did not want to think that he had found another continent, which is not surprising. It was thought of as a barrier. They're trying to get to China and India, and Columbus finds this big barrier. Well, that's not all that exciting. If he had found India, that's a lot more exciting. So he dies kind of embittered, as we saw in this brief biographical clip. After Columbus, we get Amerigo Vespucci. He explores, and he's the first one to suggest that this might be a new continent as opposed to being Asia. And when I say new, meaning unknown previously to Europeans, notice his name, Amerigo. That might sound familiar because we live on the continent of North America in the United States of America. It gets its name from this man right here. And Treaty of Tordesillas. In 1494, Portugal and Spain divide all lands on earth not claimed. Pretty bold of them to do, but they did it. And let's look at the line of demarcation. This line of demarcation basically says that Spain gets all this and Portugal gets all this. The one thing you'll note is that this line kind of runs by modern-day Brazil, which is why in Brazil, Portuguese is the language. And Africans are enslaved. Part of that is that cash crops are grown. They're grown for sale. Oftentimes that kind of economy in this day and age, we're talking 1500s, 1600s, slavery was key to doing that. And we'll end later in the unit, we will do a TED Ed lesson on history versus Christopher Columbus. There's lots of arguments both ways about Christopher Columbus, a very, very controversial historic figure in our time. That's it. That's our lesson on the Atlantic world, the exchanges, the Columbian Exchange, the interaction of three cultures North and South America, Europe, and West Africa taking place.